Alright, in this video, we're going to be talking about the config. So as I mentioned, this object that you pass into the Tygr module is the config for the entire Tygr store, for all the features. So I recommend creating a file called tygr.config. And we'll export a constant Tygr config. So this really hasn't changed anything. So it's still just an empty object. Okay, so let's go back into the config. And you could just type in the config variables by hand without using any typings. But the framework allows for strong typing of the config. So to do that, we just have to give it a type of the config that we're using. So right now we only have one feature, and it's called feature. So we're going to give it type feature. And now there's a little red squiggly line underneath it, because it says property feature is missing. Now it's happy. And from here, we can look at all the different config variables that we can set. So we can set reducer, we can set effects, name you don't want to change. And then for this one, I also created a color variable, and I made it green for a default value. So now I'm going to change that color to blue. So this is just one feature, but if you have multiple ones, then you can do a composed type like this. And then that will compose all of these together and give you the strong typing for all the different config variables that you can change. But for right now, we only have one, so we're just going to leave it like that. Okay, let's get started. Now, in order to access the config variables, either from either from the main app or from the feature modules themselves, you can get them from the store. So we can say store.getConfig, and pass in the name of the config, and then we'll also get the color. And let's just console it out like that. Now it says blue. And if we change that in the config, then it will change in here as well. So that's a way to create a feature that can be used with multiple apps. If you want the feature to be more general, then create a lot of config variables that you can make it so personalized for every single app that you want to use it in. They're arbitrary. It can be any TypeScript object. Alright, next we'll do the server code, and then we'll go on to development of the actual features themselves.